All right. So Saturday we did Coach Confessions. We had there was about 15 of us there, I think, ish. It was an awesome day. We could have talked forever. We kept talking and talking and talking. It was great. So Carly, Lindsay, and I each shared an aspect of telling your story. So there's 3 ways that you can tell your story, right? You have a physical story, you have an emotional story, and you have a financial story. So we each kind of told a story. So Carly did physical, I did emotional, and Lindsay did financial. So that was kind of the morning, or I guess it was all the first half of the day, and then we had lunch. Then the second half of the day were 3 different presentations. Mine was a confession on confidence and vulnerability. And then Carly did a confession on consultations. So she'll be re-recording that for you, but doing consultations with your customer or before your customers become your customers. So asking the right questions, all of that. And then Lindsay did an awesome presentation on controlling the controllable. So I'm sure once she feels better, unfortunately, she texted me right before this, would you be mad if I didn't jump on the call today? I said no. She's like, I overdid it. I'm still sick. She's still really sick. So everybody pray that she feels better really soon and can get back in. She needs to just rest up. I keep telling her, just rest, take a break, rest up, and get better as soon as you can. So Lindsay, we're all praying for you and hope you feel better soon. So I thought I would share my presentation with you today. So I'm going to share my screen for those of you that can see. Just because. So I'm going to unmute you for just a second because I want to know. Actually, I'm just going to unmute one person. Michelle, can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
Yeah, on the side. Like in the upper right-hand corner, I see everybody still.
You see everybody still in the upper right-hand corner?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Fun. I didn't know how that would work. Okay. Awesome. My sister's messaging me right now when she should be on this stinking call. I'm going to message her. Need to mute somebody. Okay. So we're going to first start with a little video and see if you can hear this. I don't know if you will be able to. If you have never seen this, this is little Jessica.
That can be a start. Now, my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my moms. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything good. Better.
All right, she just cracks me up because, like, why don't we all start our day like this? Michelle, I showed this to everybody in the office too because everyone always complains. And I'm like, we need to all just start our day this happy, this excited, this confident that I like everything about me and I'm amazing and nobody can stop me and no one can tell me anything but. So unfortunately that video they did not get to see on Saturday because it was not playing for some reason. So you guys are lucky. And if those of you are watching this back again, hopefully you were able to see it. So confidence is kind of a weird word to define because like you ask somebody, what does it make, a confident person is confident, they basically have that feeling, but basically they have the feeling that they can do anything and that they believe in themselves. They are self-assured in their own abilities and their own qualities. So these are just some of the actual definitions of confidence. I just thought that I would throw that on there. But you are always, when you're confident, and I asked on Facebook to a couple people what they thought confident meant. And, it was being self-assured, being confident is what somebody said, which I thought was funny because it's true. It's just one of those words that it's hard to define. But it's somebody who believes in themselves, can share anything with anybody and not worry. So it's not always easy, but if you believe in our product, you believe in what we have to offer, then it's going to be easier for you to be confident. So one of the best confidence builders is experience. So you can't be confident without trying and continuing to try and just failing. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but not worrying and just keep it pushing on every single day. So the more experience you get, the more confident you're going to be. So number one, so I'm going to go through I think there's 10 tips on confidence, and then there's a few on vulnerability as well. So a lot of these I got from Shalene. So Shalene is my girl. I'm obsessed with personal development, if you did not know. And she is amazing. And I listen to her podcast like every single day. Many times they are on things like confidence. And I don't know what I would do without her podcasts. Like lately, she hasn't had a new one since Friday, and I'm like, what the heck? I need a new one. So, sorry, I'm resizing the screen. I don't know if you guys can see that, but, so first one is it starts on the inside. So you've got to build yourself up with that personal development, with talking, to yourself with positive words, which we'll talk about more, but it all starts with you. It all starts with your beliefs. It all starts with how you feel, how you start your day, all of those things. It starts with you, and it starts on the inside. Okay. We will talk a little bit about exercise and how, feeling good on the outside will help your confidence too, but it all starts in the inside. Number 2, change one habit. Now, Shalene really believes in this, and the one habit that she had to change, which is a really awesome one, is, so obviously she's very well known. She's got podcasts and books and videos and all kinds of things, Periscope, and she gets negative reviews, negative remarks, negative comments all the time. She made a choice to never, ever read those, because that's going to kill your confidence if you read those, if you let them get to you, if you let them bother you. I mean, I've had people, because I randomly message people sometimes that I don't necessarily know very well. Some people take that a lot better than others. Some people will say, do I know you? And you can respond with, oops, no, sorry, I bothered you. Or you can respond with, no, really, and I have responded with, no, we don't know each other personally. We have a couple of mutual friends. I just really like to connect with new people, add new people to my network. I saw that we had a few things in common. And again, if they don't respond and they don't want to talk to me, then I'm not going to let that bother me. Okay? So that's kind of where Shalene goes with those negative comments. She actually doesn't even read them or respond to them at all. But changing one habit. So if you have some negative habit that you are doing that is killing your confidence every day, like rolling out of bed and not doing your makeup or your hair and you don't feel good, or sitting on the couch and watching TV every night instead of doing what you need to do, figure out a habit that you need to change or that can change that will help build your confidence. Exercise. So exercise is a drug. Seriously. It makes me, I have now for 8 days straight worked out in the morning every day. And I feel so good all day long. I get home from work. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I got to get my workout in. I just thought about that today. And before, when I was marathon training, I would still have to like get a run in sometimes. I would do the morning workout, and then some days I'd have to get a run in. It just like stressed me out. Whereas now I'm taking a break from running, and then I'm gonna add it back in, but I'm gonna add it in when I want to add a run in, and I'm not gonna be training for anything for a while. But that morning exercise for me seriously is like a drug. It gives me energy. It makes me productive for the whole day. I can just I feel so much better. I'm seeing changes already. So I felt like I totally had lost muscle definition because I was doing, I was running, and you really don't build much muscle from that. And I can already feel that back. I took some progress pictures, and within 1 week, I can already see changes, which is awesome. So exercise, and it makes me feel so much better, that I'm more confident. And now, because I was feeling for a while that I had nothing to give, I had nothing to share. I wasn't confident that I had anything to give to anybody because I wasn't following a program from start to finish. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel like I had any muscle definition. I wasn't getting any results. So I was losing that confidence that I even had anything to give to anybody about this business for a little while. It happens to all of us. Even though I've been in it for 2 years, I'm a 1-star diamond, I'm building a team, I still have those times. But I know that if my exercise is in line, my nutrition is in line, and I'm doing personal development, my confidence is so much higher, and I can share more easily with people about this opportunity. Okay? So exercise, huge one. If you have not been exercising, or you have not been following a program from start to finish, get on it. That was a big wake-up call last week by Danny Nertoni, I think is her name, Fit and Funky. Her whole thing was, she, for the longest time, was not following programs. She's best friends with Shaun T. So all she did was Shaun T workouts. And so everybody just thought, oh, Danny's just friends with Shaun T. So of course she looks like that. Of course, whatever. She's only done Insanity. So she took a step back and said, nope, I'm going to do a different program, not Shaun T, and I'm going to follow the 21-day fix. So she did exactly that from start to finish. And again, gained that confidence that she could share about other programs and not just Insanity. So get on it. Number 4, I think this is, change your vocabulary. If you are a negative talker to yourself or with others, really more to yourself, change your vocabulary. Anytime a negative thought pops into your head, turn it around to a positive. Okay? It's so easy to fall in that trap. So easy. And I know I'm guilty of it too, with people at work or, other friends. But just turn it into a positive. Anytime you're in a situation with somebody that's trying to talk negative, help them see the positive. You see the positive side in things. If they just need to vent and listen, that's one thing. That's fine. But if it's a constant, all the time battle where it's just negative after negative after negative talk, it gets old and it's hard. So, but you have the choice to change your vocabulary and change how you talk to yourself, and how you talk to others. So make it a point to change that negative talk to positive, and you will begin to feel a lot more confident as well. Stop comparing. You cannot compare yourself with others, especially in this business. We each run our own businesses, but we help each other and we work together and we're all doing the same things. So it can be easy to compare with somebody else, okay? But you have to remember that we all live very different lives. We all are doing this for different reasons. We have different whys. We have different stories. We have different people that we're trying to help. So you cannot compare, your timeline, your journey with anybody else's. You cannot, and along with that, you cannot compare your weight loss journey. And when you are running challenge groups, you need to, I always share this with my challengers, is do not compare to each other. I know I have, little point competitions, because people are competitive and that really sometimes gets them going. I announced my first week winner yesterday and she was like, oh, good, because I'm competitive. That's what's keeping me going. And I was like, okay, well, good. But as long as they're not comparing with each other, like, oh, of course Amanda gets 5s every day, because my life is very different than, a stay-at-home mom or a working mom, we just all have different lives. So you cannot compare, because if you're comparing yourself to somebody else or someone else's life or someone else's journey or someone else's body, that you're not going to have that confidence that you need. You just need to compare to, how were you yesterday? Are you better than you were yesterday? Are you better than you were last week? Are you better than you were last year? That's all you need to remember to go back and compare yourself to. Fix yourself up. It's really easy, especially for some of you stay-at-home moms, to roll out of bed, throw your hair in a ponytail, and get on with your day and not do anything with yourself. Okay? But fixing yourself up, doing your hair, taking a shower, putting on some makeup, that really does build your confidence. Because then if you run into somebody out at the store or you want to all of a sudden make a video, because that's one thing I struggle with. If my hair's in a ponytail and I feel like crap one day, then I don't want to make a video and I don't want to do something, one of my things on my to-do list for my business, because I feel blah and gross. So remember to fix yourself up, because it really does go a long way. I remember, during my depression days, on days that I would just force myself to freaking get up, take a shower, get out, and go for a walk. It makes you feel so much better, and you eventually will gain that confidence. So fix yourself up, get pretty. I know Jenny said on Saturday, she was like, this was fun. I got to put on real clothes and a necklace and do my hair, and because that doesn't always happen. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen every day. You can still do that, Jenny. Put on a fun necklace with your uniform in the lunchroom. The kids will probably love it. Focus on the positive. So we kind of talked about this already, but remember to always focus on the positive side of things. Stress that with people in your life. If your husband or your wife or friends or coworkers or whatever, try and always keep that in the forefront with people, is to focus on the positive. And you'll feel better. You'll feel more confident. Accept mistakes. I always say at work and in my Beachbody business that failing is the only way to success. So my job as director of innovative learning is to help people change. And my job as a coach is to help people change. Neither one of them are easy. And people fail all the time. They're little failures. They're little mistakes. They're things that the world's not going to end. So people just need to learn that it's okay to make mistakes. Accept the little mistakes you make. That's the experience that you're going to gain. So you need to, whenever you make a mistake, because you will, and we all do still, just learn from it and move on. Okay? Consistency. You have to be consistent. I've learned myself. So for example, I recently, again, probably for the 4th time, have moved over to my like page. Now I'm going to learn how to freaking run a like page and be amazing at it and gain customers, and for all of you, because that's one thing that our team lacks. Now, you don't have to have a like page, and I'm not telling any of you to go get a like page right now, because I don't want you to do right now. But because I want to learn it first for you. So I don't want you to get bogged down, and because you have to be extremely consistent. I have to be posting 3 to 5 times a day on my like page, or else no one's ever going to see the post. So it's so important to be consistent. But the same goes for your profile page. If you are not consistently posting on your profile page, and then you're not getting your likes and your comments and things that you want, that kills your confidence, guys. I know, because I felt it. Because you're like, oh, no one likes my stuff, no one comments on anything. Well, because it's not, to be honest, it's not showing up in their feed, because you're not posting enough, you're not sharing enough. Now, I don't want you to be posting like, oh, the 21-day fix is on sale. I want you to be posting real stuff about you and your life. Sharing, being vulnerable, which we'll talk about in a second. But be consistent with your sharing. And I think this is the last one. Yep. Be yourself. So that kind of goes with what I was just saying, is you need to be sharing you and be you. And people want to work with you. People don't buy the 21-day fix in Shakeology. I mean, they do, but they really buy you. When you're promoting a group, they want to work with somebody that they trust, that is going to be confident and can help them and will push them and hold them accountable when needed. So be you, share you, and the rest will just get easier. Everything will get easier if you're you and you gain that confidence. So it will happen over time, and there will still be days that you struggle with a lack of confidence, but it does get easier. It does. I don't know what else to say. It really does. So the next topic is vulnerability. So an author that I have been following a lot lately, her name is Brené Brown. Brene Brown. She writes a few different books. One of her more popular books right now is called Daring Greatly. And it's all about being vulnerable and daring greatly, getting out of your comfort zone and doing, just putting yourself out there. I feel like Facebook has changed. I think I shared this on Saturday. So, well, not really changed. I mean, it's changed for me, and it's probably changed for all of you. Hopefully your feeds are definitely more positive than they ever used to be. But I think I want more people to be vulnerable and share. I don't want people to see our posts that I'm being very vulnerable and sharing things about my life. I share struggles, I share highs, I share lows. And if you remember Facebook years ago, it wasn't like, I mean, I guess it was. You were kind of sharing, like I would put, I'm going to Carrie's house tonight, or, something random. But I wasn't sharing like deep details about my life. And I really want more people to do that. We even talk in education that like the story, you need to share your story, share stories with your students, get your students to tell their story about their lives, and be able to share a positive story. And it's all about stories. I feel like that is where the world is going, like just sharing with each other to make our world a better place. So, but you have to be able to be vulnerable to do that. And it's not always easy. So this is a quote from Brené Brown. I'm going to share some other books with you in a bit, but the first one was Daring Greatly. It's one that I'm still listening to. You can read it as well, but I have the audio book. I'm having a hard time listening to the audio book because it's not her talking. It's almost like a robotic voice talking, and I'm having a hard time. Some audiobooks are much better with their who have their recorder than others, and this one just unfortunately is not, so I'm struggling a little. But this quote is awesome. Most people believe that vulnerability is weakness, but really vulnerability is courage. We must ask ourselves, are we willing to show up and be seen? So are you willing to show up, put yourself out there, share your story, share the little stories that happen every day in your lives, and allow others to hopefully see them as courage and not weakness. And if they do see it as weakness, that's on them, not on you. Don't let it bother you. Remember what we said before. Don't let those negative things creep into your awesomeness. So with vulnerability, the number one thing you have to do is be real. We just talked about being yourself. It's the same thing. Be you, be real, share those real things. Share those crazy, silly, goofy thoughts that come into your head. Like the silliest thing, like I got random comments today because I posted that I love the freaking Justin Bieber song. Really? And like friends that I never get comments from are commenting, oh yeah, I love that song. Or like one of my best friends who never comments and hasn't done a program or anything, she was like, I might have to unfriend you, like joking. But I'm like, you never comment on my stuff when it's like health and fitness related, but this stupid Justin Bieber song got you excited. So like share the stupid, goofy, crazy stuff that comes into your head. And that will build connections, because when someone comments on something, or if you comment on something of theirs, that builds that Facebook affinity, remember. So the more you can get people to be commenting on your stuff, and then you're commenting on their stuff, or you're commenting back to them, Facebook all knows all that stuff. It's crazy weird. But so be real, share crazy stuff with people. They like it. They like stupid stuff. Unfortunately, they don't always like our health and fitness stuff. They like the stupid stuff that we post. So share it. Act with no guarantees. So this one is really, taking action, and no matter what, even if you might fail, and just knowing that it's okay. So, you're ready to run your first challenge group and you're scared and it's your very first one all by yourself. You've got to just do it and run with it. Even if you get 2 people, you've got to just do it. And not let the fear of it hold you back, and not let I only got 2 people. 2's better than 0. I have found that with some of my groups that I have the smallest number are some of the best groups, because it's a really intimate group and we really get to know each other and we really get to work closely together. So don't let those fears of anything hold you back. If you're afraid to share your story on Facebook, do it. Do it. Just act like you could care less that anything, if you fail or succeed. So ask for help. So this is a big one, and I think our team is pretty good about this, thankfully. But sometimes I'm not. I'm a little control freak. I even have an assistant, and sometimes I'm like, oh, what can I give her? Shoot, I need to make her a to-do list. And then I ended up doing something on it, I finally did give her her first Hootsuite project this weekend, which was awesome. She did amazing, and I don't know why I didn't do it before. But the last time I had to Hootsuite something, she had literally just started. So I was like, I don't know. But you have to remember to ask for help, because one thing that, I don't know where I read this, but you may be losing out on somebody else's gift. Like, I'm really good with technology. Lindsay isn't. Lindsay's really good with freaking telling her story, being vulnerable, and putting herself out there. If I didn't help her with technology and she helped me with how to craft a freaking message, we wouldn't be where we are. So you have to ask for that help and be okay that I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? Okay. It is okay, especially when you are new, and even when you're not. Like, I'm 2 years in. I just asked Carly today. She was talking about an email that she sent her new customers about getting started right or something. I forget what she calls it. She calls it something. And I asked her for a copy of that, because I was like, I have not been doing that. Can you help me with that? And I've been a coach for 2 years. So you can't be afraid to ask for help. Get rejected. This is that go for no. If you haven't been doing it, do it, do it, do it. Okay? So if you haven't read the book, get the book, Go for No, and read it. It's so short, super, super, super short. I think it's like, if it's on audio, I think it's literally like an hour book, which is really short for a book. But basically, you are shooting for no's. And along the way, you are going to get yeses. So your goal is to tell people to tell you no. Lindsay made the best analogy about inviting, and I don't know if she said it before, but she said it on Saturday, and it seriously like opened everybody's eyes, like, oh my God, what? Duh. So let's just pretend I'm Lindsay, right? So I walk into a room and I'm telling all of you about Owen's birthday party, and it's going to be so awesome, and there's going to be a jumpy house, and we're going to have ponies, and it's going to be awesome, and I just tell you all about it, and I never invite you. Are you going to invite yourself? No. Probably not. Not most people won't. So it's like that with our groups. We're sharing all over Facebook, like, join my next challenge group. Hey, I'm doing this awesome thing. I've lost 10 pounds. I've lost 5 inches. I feel amazing. I'm so positive. I have the best support group in the world. So I'm sharing all of these things. But if you're never personally inviting people, there are a lot of people that will never come to you just because they're afraid. You have to invite them. So think about it as that birthday party. You invite people to an awesome birthday party. You need to invite them to your challenge groups. Personally invite them and go for that no. If they say no, they say no. People say no. But remember that no means not right now. So practice getting rejected so that you can be more vulnerable. Because the more no's you get, the easier it takes to hear no. Embrace negative emotions. So we all have negative thoughts sometimes. I did say, get over them, be positive, turn the negative into positive. Sometimes you just have to embrace it for the moment. Know that you can feel better. Cry it out. Scream it out. Call your best friend and bitch about it. Sorry. Embrace them and then let them go. Okay? So share, because I can't always be Miss Positivity. I'd go crazy. I can't always be Miss Perfect, right? I'm not perfect by any means. None of us are. But it's okay to sometimes have those negative emotions and be sad and be upset and be mad about things. But just don't let it like control you and don't let it take over. So that is all about vulnerability. And this quote really kind of sums it up for all of us, because we were talking about stories, but owning your story or owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. So own your story. We all have a story. We all have a different story. We all have many stories, I should say. And love yourself. We have good times. We have bad times. I've been through many of both. And I know that every single part of my story has happened for a reason. And it's to make me who I am today. I'm going to have a million more stories to share as my life goes on. And they all happen for a reason. So this quote is from Brené Brown's book called The Gifts of Imperfection. That is another one on my list. Another one of hers is Rising Strong. All of them are about kind of that vulnerability, not being perfect, being okay with just being you, and just being strong. And she talks a lot about being a woman. Sorry, David. But just being okay, that life happens and life isn't perfect, and that's okay, and we can share that with people to hopefully build them up and help them to understand that they have a story that they can share too. So I hope you guys liked that. It was kind of fun for me. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get you guys back. And I will unmute you. And I don't know if anybody has any questions, but let's see. All right. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Any comments? Anything to share? Stories you want to share?
It was good.
Maybe you want to give out?
I feel like everything's very applicable. It's always like nice to have reminders because it's easy to just get caught up in all of the little things that we're supposed to do every night. So, or not every night, but the power hour stuff. So it's just nice general reminders. So thank you.
Oh my God, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, none of it's like, oh, rocket science, but it is. It's like that stuff that, oh yeah, I need to stop being negative and worrying about what other people think, and yeah.
Quite a bit of clothes for both of them in those bags.
As much as we can lift each other up and share ourselves and share our struggles and worries, and the more we will.
I think that this is the part about vulnerability is going to be really great, and thank you so much for sharing this author and her name and the titles of her books, because I'm kind of one of those people who I don't like to post negative stuff on Facebook because at least for a few years, I felt like that was the trend. It was all about vague booking, and it was all about really like like calling a lot of attention to yourself by being negative, to try and kind of like fish for compliments and fish for support. And that was just a real turnoff for me. And so I got into the habit of like, if it was negative, if it was something like me being vulnerable, I really just I basically just took it offline because I just felt like, I didn't like how I felt when I was seeing other people do it all the time, when really it just seemed like people were just complaining and just being, do you know what I'm trying to say?
For sure.
Yeah. And so basically I'm going to really, I'm looking actually for another book to read. So it might be one of these, because I think the best part about being vulnerable is that nobody likes to be vulnerable, but when you're willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, people will connect to that, because like you said, that quote in the beginning, it is courageous, because you're showing, you're not showing yourself as perfect. You're really willing to be imperfect of a lot of people, and really just expose who you are. And so I think that's what you already have that trust. You're just willing to kind of put yourself out there, and people trust that, because it's not easy airing your dirty laundry. So I really thank you for this, because I've been kind of looking for a way. It's really easy for me to post positive stuff because I'm just a really positive person, and I just really, if you haven't heard of The Secret, it's all about attracting positivity to you, and then it will, just kind of manifest in your life. And so I've been really trying to just avoid all negativity and all of that stuff. But I think it's going to be kind of like, for me, it's going to be a very, a growth process. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And, there's ways to struggle without them sounding super negative, There's ways to, like, instead of complaining, hearing that it's a struggle, and, sharing, asking for advice on how to get over something.
I think I'm just gonna have to kind of like you were saying, like I'm just gonna have to kind of learn how to craft my message or craft what I'm trying to say, so that it doesn't come off as being like whiny or just bitchy or whatever. Excuse my language, but and so that's gonna be part of, I think, what's gonna be my learning opportunity. So.
It'll take time, it'll take experience and mistakes and all of that, and that's okay. You'll gain that confidence. And
Absolutely. Thank you.
anything else? All right, awesome. Let's finish out October strong. I have an awesome, really awesome challenge group going right now, which is that's helping me stay on track. So we're in week 2 right now, and I am finally on week 2 of the program. I didn't drink on Saturday at a friend's party, nor did I touch any of the snacks, which was huge. I sat and drank my little flavored water because I just didn't want to. I had a couple drinks Thursday and Friday, so I needed to not do it on Saturday. But that's a huge thing for me. For any of you that know that I'm a girl that lives in the city, so socializing is a big part of my life. So I'm trying to find ways that I feel something better than so hopefully you guys are having some awesome wins this week too, and I look forward to talking to you all later this week. Thank you. You're welcome.
Good night. Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.